Today is not that day. First off, hello to everyone. Hello to Kudos and M on my side. And I will introduce the Miss Sarah Hawkey, who's over on that way on my screen. Might be the other way on her screen. I bet it is, isn't it? You're over there. You're over there to me, Sarah. Although my monitor's over there, so I can't see what you're doing. Anywho, I'm going to need to switch those around. Anyhow, that doesn't really matter. Hello, everybody. And we're here for the Monza Grand Prix. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, hello.
Oh, what are we expecting for today? And have you remembered your predictions?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember a lot of them, actually. Which is bad.
Hello, the Pedro as well, and the Sim Race Dude.
Hi.
Pleasure to see you pair here. I will dig up those predictions and see what they say. Okay. My ones, do you know what? We're going to do this at the end. We're going to do it at the end.
Okay.
Because that'll be more fun.
Otherwise, I'll be wishing it the whole race through. I'll be like, come on. Please get one of my predictions.
First off, Sim Race Dude, hey, M. First off, oi oi, and why is this? Oh, right, because this is an F1 feed. But because you're asking nicely, I will find it. Give me a moment.
This is the way.
That's the one. Generally speaking, I disable a lot of them because Kulios will just redeem them non-stop. Essentially, it's not just him. We're trying to be mildly professional.
Even when you're not live, he redeems them as well, so...
Yeah, you have a fair point. I'm actually trying to find it on my requesting. I can't find the damn thing. Where is it? Ferrari plan's still enabled. That's always got to be enabled. So what were you expecting today through this race here?
I want the Ferraris to at least have a little fight with the Red Bull. That's all I really wish for.
Yeah, we don't want it to be a Red Bull walkover. It's that simple, really, isn't it? There you go, it's live. Oh dear. Right. At very least, at least the Ferraris didn't get a penalty for blocking in qualifying. Apparently the clause was they're not allowed to go slow enough in a certain sector, well, across the whole lap, unless exceptional circumstances. Apparently, the FIA found a nice loophole for the Ferraris to qualify for exceptional circumstances.
Okay.
Basically, they were, and I quote, they were trying to get out of the way.
It's a good
as Joey says,
a good
I'm
excuse.
sorry.
Well, if there's any excuse, that'll be a good excuse.
Did you know the circuit was 101 years old?
I didn't know.
Not today. We learn something new every day.
She opened this day. Good timing.
Yeah. Anniversary. Right. So let's have a very quick rundown. Sainz starting P1.
Yes.
Verstappen P3, and then my knowledge disappears up there because I watched qualifying, but I've forgotten it all. Russell?
No, it's Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc.
That's what I said, wasn't it?
No, you said Verstappen third.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, I definitely meant Leclerc third.
So Sainz first, then Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Albon, Piastri, Hamilton, Norris, Alonso, Tsunoda, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Sargent, Zhou, Gasly, Ocon, Magnussen, and Stroll.
Stroll at the back.
Yeah, right at the back.
Shocker. And he was complaining the fact that Drogovic, I think it was, had his seat for FP1, and then he had a Yuki's not getting the driver of the race this week.
No. And he's pulled over in the grass of a smoking engine. Not very good, is it?
Well, no. I was going to say maybe it's the heat factor at Monza. I mean, it's fairly warm here in England today. Well, at least I think it is. I've just been out in the sun. And it's obviously a bit hotter under the cover of that AlphaTauri, as it looks like it is smoking.
They've aborted the start.
Thank you, Em. Yeah. Well, that'll knock a lap off the race. And then they'll go around again. Julio says, Midnight, if I say that Verstappen is going to win, do you think he will lose? Because anything I say is going to happen won't happen. All right, in which case you should say that I'm definitely never going to become rich. That's number one. Okay. Honestly, I think we're past the point of jinxes for Verstappen. You can get out the Ouija board and curses and all that stuff. That's not going to stop him. Someone's going to have to physically get a sniper rifle out and get his tyres. Even then, he'll probably still get a safety car and end up only fifth, and then win.
Pedro asked what happened. Tsunoda has pulled over on the grass with a smoking engine, so they've had to abort the start. They're going around for a second formation lap now.
By the looks of it, they can't get that car into neutral, which is a button on the front of the cockpit, which goes kadunk and engages neutral. And it looks like the car is stuck, so I'm thinking that's a gearbox failure or hydraulics. Leclerc's not happy with the Ferrari.
No. Shock.
So we're getting angry. And that's Boris. Is that Boris Becker on the left? I know it's Gerhard Berger on the right. That one I knew. Is that Boris Becker on the left? Doesn't really matter.
Well, F1, like I'm going to show him who it is. Formula 1.
I remember distinctly, it was either 97 or 98. I think 97, Gerhard Berger won a dominant race around here, and it was his last win. And I remember it because it was like a week after his mother died, and it was like, oh, he's racing for her this weekend. He just blitzed the field. It was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that AlphaTauri still sat on the entrance to Parabolic or whatever the hell it's called these days.
Pedro, you did jinx it.
What did you say? Yuki's going to have a good result?
No, we were generally talking about that we haven't seen many mechanical failures this year with these cars.
That was one of his predictions. There would be mechanical failures. But technically, he said in the race. We haven't started the race yet.
It was about to start. So.
Yeah, but the race hasn't started.
Oh, I'm sure we can give it to him. It's fine.
But the FIA give him a point for that if the race hadn't started.
I mean, he's making his way to start the race.
See, he hasn't started.
Don't be the FIA. Don't try to look for a loophole.
I found a loophole and you know it.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll think about that one. This is going to be another aborted start. Yeah. So that's going to be 2 laps short of the race now. We're going to have to go, well, 3 laps short is going to be now. 1, 2, 3.
Look at all the guys running.
This will now be restart. Yeah. All right, come on, lads. Get the trainers out and run down the grid. Yeah, I would agree with Pedro. If it's going to happen, it'll be here. Anywhere, it'll be here. A lot of heat, a lot of high speed, a lot of mechanical stress. And of course, all the mechanics aren't allowed out onto the grid until the FIA. There's a guy running down the side of the grid. I don't think he should be there.
Oh, there's people climbing. Someone just climbed through the fence. I wonder who that is.
Yeah, that might be a penalty for whoever's team that he's for. This is not what we were expecting.
Oh.
Hang on a moment. I'll be back in a momentino.
Okie dokie. Do we turn your camera off?
Yeah, please.
Give me a second. Yuki Tsunoda calling shotgun in the truck, the recovery truck.
Doing their utmost here not to give us a red flag, because that would be even more delay. The marshals are saying to the crews the latest situation. We've already got some people running onto the grid now, and obviously they've been given the signal that yes, they can go.
All of the team members running to the grid now, literally sprinting towards their cars. Bit of a mess, isn't it? Like all of the teams just going like. Whoop.
So whilst it doesn't say red flag, officially this is a red flag because we have had one lap of the race.
They are moving the car, then we will go for standings. We will do another formation loop, no? Yeah, correct.
Yeah, the race is starts.
Yeah, for some of those teams, it's going to be a long run.
The brakes need to be kept under a temperature control. The engines too.
Weird, because it's not officially been called a red flag yet, but they're acting as if it is a red flag. Kudos as well. I'm going to predict that Verstappen is going to win. Well, probably. But never know. The Ferrari might have a chance.
If it does have an effect, if anyone's cars have overheated, if they're delivering less power or the tyres are a little bit more worn than anybody.
I think it all depends how much the Ferraris can put up a fight.
Mechanics or whoever it was were a little bit too soon in jumping through the gap in the pit wall onto the grid. You're not allowed to have people on there unless authorised, so that looks like that they weren't authorised yet, but that's something we'll look into later. Yeah, I suppose there was nothing coming, was there?
Yeah, they're just talking about obviously the people that just jumped onto the grid weren't authorised to jump onto the grid yet, so possibly a telling off or a penalty maybe. Only Red Bull qualified with a setup that was suited to the race. Oh, I mean they were still fast. Still fast. But it won't matter too much. But what is anybody's early predictions? Anything that you think's gonna happen? Anything you want to happen? Anything of the above? Yeah, that's what's worrying, that the race setup is still fast in quali. Yeah, that is worrying.
I'm not about yet. I'm having big technicals.
I wonder if they go for another formation up. Probably.
You know what we've got on the car at
future. Yes, because he's starting on the hard compound tyre and going long, the Hail Mary option, as it were, go long and hope for something.
But did they just say Hamilton was going like on hard tyres?
It can lead to a worse outcome, and it can also lead to a better outcome as well. So we've
So the Williams and McLarens had to get a good result, although McLaren had the second slowest car on the straights. Really? Very good, is it? This was Mercedes.
precisely
Oh.
a safety car would put you in a position where others would be able to stop and then switch to the hard tyre and run that probably to the finish, whereas on that hard you're probably not in a position to take the medium, so it could put him at a disadvantage. Flip that scenario to later in the race, and if he hasn't stopped and then that falls to his favour, it could really work out. So yeah,
Just saying that, like, Hamilton's starting on the hards.
safety cars have fallen historically at this race and in this event, so there's some data behind it, but also willingness to roll the dice a little bit as well and see what happens. And talk us through your chances today, Bradley. You're not the fastest thing down the straights. You might have a bit more downforce on to help you through the corners. Where are the targets?
So saying that the race will start at 20 past for us.
It'll be easy to tell you, Crofty, after lap 1.
We've got meat for a few more minutes.
George will be hoping to look forwards and fight for the podium, and Lewis really to make up as many positions as possible. And the pace is so close on the numbers that we've got that it's very hard to work out, who's going to be quicker, who's going to be slower in that pack behind Verstappen and potentially Perez.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If it falls in our favour, we may be able to make progress.
Listening to obviously that Bradley Lord, the communications director at Mercedes, talking about obviously
Race unfolds, and
it might be beneficial, it might be detrimental, starting on the hards. I'm not quite sure yet. It depends
the weekend so far.
how the race is going.
Loads, and that's certainly going to be a major factor this afternoon.
So Fernando Alonso there focusing hard, and Bradley, so what we expect now will be 3 formation laps. That takes away any or most of the stress if you've underfueled the cars a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it does a little bit. Exactly, but equally, people will be calculating with running in traffic and fueling accordingly, and building a measure of lift and coast plans into it as well. So, coming off the throttle before hitting the brakes, in order to look after the tyre temperatures as well. So we'll see how that shakes out, but it should, in theory, make it a little bit more comfortable than it would have been otherwise. Bradley, thanks ever so much. We'll come back to you in a little while.
Yeah, they're trying to do, but it means that they might take them a while for them to move up some places to defend their positions. Yeah.
We'll be looking forward, as will the rest of us, to the formation lap start.
Either or, really.
Under 5 minutes time. So Yuki Tsunoda's AlphaTauri has been cleared. That's back in the pits. Yuki
I much prefer the Alpha like that. That livery on. Nice.
Which is a huge shame for him.
It is, but it's also
Did you see what happened during the recording of the F1 movie? No, what happened? Wait, was it the pit stop thing? If it is, I did see that on TikTok. Yeah, they brought him in for a pit stop but didn't actually change any tyres or something like that. I saw that on TikTok. I did question it, I was like, huh? Doesn't make much sense.
Ted, just head down to you for a moment. Well, I'm thinking of Yuki Tsunoda because I feel sorry for him, Crofty, because he's just passed me in the pit lane. His shoulders hunched, his head bowed a bit. It's so
Yes.
end to a disappointing
Make them use the
He had
livery for the rest of the season.
to Q3. He missed it by a few hundredths of a second, and it's the first of 2 dramas. There's Liam Lawton for this AlphaTauri team. The AlphaTauri team, of course, this Faenza team, who have won.
There's a lot of pressure put on on Liam Lawson's head today, obviously being the only AlphaTauri running now.
Broken and then fixed on the grid.
Probably feeling a little bit of pressure, being like, oh, I've got to finish now.
Failure. The same power unit, of course, they have in the AlphaTauris, they have in both Red Bulls. So that'll be a concern for Christian Horner on the Red Bull pit wall. But yeah, otherwise, just some messages to the teams and to the drivers, asking the drivers to relearn all the gears again on the next formation lap, from first through to 7th or 8th, whichever one they're using. All the electronics, they need to relearn the gears. So that's something the drivers
Relearn the
will do
gear.
again on the next formation lap. It's never a dull moment behind the wheel and under the visor as we look at Max Verstappen on the grid.
I'm back.
We say going
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Right?
What did I miss?
Not much, to be honest. They've just They've just obviously announced it would start at 20 past again. They were also talking about the mechanics and stuff, because they didn't initially put it out as a red flag. That's why the mechanics and everything couldn't go onto the grid yet.
Yeah, I get that.
They never called it a red flag, so technically, like, they didn't announce it, but at some point it was treated as red flag conditions and they all came running out. But there was a couple of, I think it looked like Red Bull mechanics that jumped the fence.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, obviously that's not allowed.
I'm wondering if that would be a penalty for Red Bull. Yeah, I did spot them jumping out over, and FIA will be on top of that very quickly.
Exactly, people were making memes of that pit stop, saying it was reminded them of the GT7 races with a mandatory pit stop. The tyre change isn't required. Yeah, kind of makes sense.
There was one of those at Deep Forest the other week, wasn't there?
Yeah, they were just talking about the F1 movie that they were obviously still filming. Someone filmed a bit in the pits where the car comes in for a pit stop, but they don't change any of the tyres.
Mandatory pit stop. Counts. Okay, so I'm writing notes for this as well. So, cool. Right, I'm up to date. Okay, so we're going.
Should be going live about now-ish.
Now. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And one thing I didn't comment on before I had to leave, Guido said, he said he's going to say that Verstappen is going to win. Do you think he will lose because anything I say is going to happen? What happened? Where the English in that is interesting, mate. And then he just changed. Well, I'm going to predict that Verstappen's going to win, in the hope of jinxing him.
Yeah. We're going around for another formation lap, and
third formation lap.
Yep, all drivers were told to learn the gears properly, use the gears properly. Maybe all of the teams are potentially think there could be an issue.
Use the gears properly. We'll go from first to third, back down to second, up to sixth, back to third again, and then to fourth, fifth, and then back to third again. Right, okay. Considering a sequential, you can't do that.
Yeah. I think that might have been obviously what happened with Sonoda, the upshifts and downshifts, apparently.
Oh, so he's been a bit aggressive somewhere.
Yeah, with the track conditions.
I called it. It was gearbox.
They're not sure yet, but I think that's what their worries was initially, that because obviously the upshift and downshifts, if you don't do it properly, can damage the engine.
Yeah, obviously what it does, it transmits torque back from the wheels, back through the drive shafts, through the gearbox, into the clutch, and into the all the rest of the mechanics of the engine as well. So yeah, I get you. I mean, the last thing you want to do is be going 100 miles an hour and then downshift into first.
No.
Imagine doing that in your road car. You'd be saying goodbye to the gearbox and the clutch.
And something else to start to thingy you on. Hamilton is starting on hard tyres.
That's ambitious.
I know. Listening to Bradley Lord, obviously the Mercedes communications director, they're not allowed. They weren't allowed to remove the tyres on the grid to change compound.
That was going to be my question. If they were to be, because they haven't started the race technically.
No,
they have, but they haven't.
They haven't
started. They haven't started, but they've taken laps off for the fuel allowance for the formation lap. Yeah, that was going to be my question. Has anyone changed tyres and got rid of the mandatory tyre swap?
No.
Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah, but he was saying that obviously it can be either beneficial later on in the race or detrimental. It depends how kind of the race goes and.
I get it. Well, it's going to be interesting for Hamilton. Is he the only one starting on hards?
They didn't say. They only kind of mentioned him that was starting on the hards, so potentially he could be the only one starting on hards.
He's
Not
only
sure
had 20 minutes to decide
Yeah.
to show us the tyre listing. I'm betting there's been oodles of Sonoda replays of him just pulling over.
No, not much actually. It was just kind
They're
of
going easy on us.
they kind of just showed all of the mechanics just running towards the grid. They were like
Nice.
let out, and all of like the teams just went. Boop.
Duly noted. Right, Stroll takes up the final position, and we get ready for the actual start. Only 23 minutes late.
It's lights out, and away we go. Come on,
So Sainz got a
Ferrari.
good start.
Come on, Ferrari. Come on, come up, come up.
Forza Ferrari.
Oh, Charles didn't get too bad of a start either.
Yeah, and the Ferraris are slipstreaming each other. Oh, yeah, Russell's trying to get down the inside of Leclerc.
Oh, double wide. That looks quite cool, doesn't it? Going through that corner.
It does, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. Leclerc's going defensive against Russell.
Yeah, Russell's I think gonna... Oh, no.
Oh, one of the Ferrari fans has found a flare.
I'm a bit too early, mate.
Well, this might be the only time we see the Ferraris leading.
Essentially.
Celebrate it where you can.
Yeah, woo!
Okay, very clean start thus far.
Yeah.
No real big movers. All the top 5 or 6 seem to be exactly as they were.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just pleased that Albon is still running in the race.
Yeah.
In 7th at the moment. I'm guessing that is Norris behind him, but Piastri's the lead McLaren at the moment.
He is, yeah.
Okay, and Bottas and K-Mag are on hards as well. No one going soft tyres. That's interesting.
Oh.
Right, of course, this lap we will not have DRS, nor will we... I was just saying, we will at the end of next lap.
Yes.
Beginning of next lap. Beginning of next. Yeah.
Lap number 3.
Albon was looking at the back of... I'm trying to say his name like the other guy did. Piastri.
Yeah, it was like... What was it? Piastri?
Yeah, it is Piastri. Piastri. Oh, I've forgotten now. We're going to go... Okay, Albon up a place.
Nice.
We're discussing semantics of his surnames. Okay, cool.
Apparently, Pedro was catching me up that the Mercedes yesterday was the slowest car on the straights, and McLaren were second slowest straights.
Okay, no wonder Hamilton's gone for the hard tyre. He's going for track position rather than be able to overtake anyone.
Quite a cool camera shot.
Mm-hmm. That flies in the face of many years of the hybrid era of the Merc having the fastest and highest top speed. It's completely the opposite.
At the moment, it seems to be, yeah, for sure.
Ooh. Hamilton isn't even troubling in the apexes at all. It's like 10 feet wide on the Parabolica. Okay, DRS is now enabled. And we've got Carlito Sainz ahead of Verstappen, followed by Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Albon, Piastri, Norris, Hamilton. I'm guessing that's Hulkenberg in the top 10.
Yes.
So Sonoda was actually quite high. I didn't realise it was up that high. He must have been 11th.
Yeah, I think he was.
10th or 11th at least. So somewhere Hulkenberg has done Alonso down at turn 1.
Yeah.
So two by two across the entire turns 1, turn 2, and Alonso was having a look at the back of Hamilton through there as well. So was 11th.
No, it was 11th, yeah, and Liam Lawson was 12th. I wonder where Liam is on after that lead lap. I think he got swallowed up a little bit.
Still getting past your first lap on Monza after only literally one Grand Prix race distance is pretty good going.
Yeah, pretty good going.
Every time I see this first corner, particularly in these cars, ooh, Sargent nearly going into the side of what looked like an Alpha.
Oh, Lawson is still in P12, so he's hanging on there. Actually, he's behind Alonso there.
Good company to be keeping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with Hamilton, I would imagine he's going to go as long as literally possible and then chuck on a set of softs towards the end.
Yeah. Unless we see a safety car.
We will see. I was going to say, all the cars relatively close together within a second of each other, but apart from you can just see Russell is falling away from the Ferrari and the Red Bull already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looks like Red Bull are playing the long game regarding tyre wear for the Ferraris. He's just going to sit and wait for Sainz's tyres to go off, it looks like.
Albon is still in P6 and the McLaren 7th and 8th, yep.
Albon, I was going to say, no, it's the other way around. Perez is right on the back of Russell, so yeah, that's not going to last long. Allegedly, Perez has got an older engine in that Red Bull this weekend.
And he's got a slightly different rear wing compared to Max as well.
Because Max needs all the help he can get.
Exactly.
It's probably written in his contract he gets like the first part. And as we know from what was it, Brazil last year? No, I will not give him 1 point for P5, whatever it was.
Yeah.
No, I will have. I am 170 points ahead in the championship. I want every single millisecond. Okay, we might be seeing a pass on to turn 1 now.
Make it difficult. Please.
Well, he's in DRS range, and that's putting it politely.
Yeah.
Here we go. Sainz, you got to go defensive. Yeah, Sainz is not. Verstappen's not going to give up round there. He clattered into the side of Hamilton there a couple of years ago.
It looks like he's about to run out of road, though.
Brundle's saying it now. We've seen Verstappen on top of Hamilton. Because he says, okay, I'm getting alongside you. Regardless of the next corner goes 90 degrees the other way or not, he also, I'm alongside you. I mean, yeah, that was not on Max. You have to try again. I bet he says he ran me out of road. That's rich. Coming from him.
But I think the problem with that corner, yes, when they've just started, they can go 2x2. But when you're like full race pace, you can't really go 2x2 in that first and second corner.
No, definitely not.
Good move.
Yeah.
Ferrari, good move.
Yeah. No. I'm one to say I hate it when other drivers run other drivers off. Drivers run other drivers off the road, but that was never going to be a passing opportunity. Sainz would have to jump out the way for Max even to make the corner. That was just never going to happen.
Seems to have brought Charles a little bit closer to him.
He does, it has. But it does look like Charles hasn't got the real pace this weekend.
No, Carlos has been had the upper hand all weekend, it looks like.
Oh. Yeah, I would agree with that. And here's something. Albon's pulling away from the McLarens.
Damn. Go on, Williams.
That's odd.
Yeah, don't see it very often.
Whereas I don't see Carlos holding Max off for another 44 laps.
No.
No offense, Carlos.
We can all hope. We can all dream. Would it be possible? Probably not.
Ambitious.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think we're going to see a pass to this lap from Max, but I'd be more wanting to watch Russell and Perez at this point because they are closer.
I was going to say, I think Verstappen, if he's wanting to pass,
Called it.
He's close now. I think Verstappen has learned if he wants to pass Carlos, he's got to do it not into turn 1 and 2. Got to do it somewhere else on track.
Problem is, round Monza, as we know from the pre-GP yesterday, is very awkward places to pass. I mean, the Lesmos aren't really a passing opportunity unless someone is completely off the track. Ascari, yeah. It's not the biggest of braking zones, though. Into Parabolica, possibly, but... If you know when someone's going to be coming at you, like down the main straight, you can save all your battery for that, can't you?
Yeah.
Norris is on the back of Piastri. Looks like Sainz is getting a really late turn into the apex of Parabolica, and he's just trying to maximise the speed down the straights, obviously. But he's taken such a wider line compared to Max. You have to defend this one. You have to defend it. The problem is now he's gone defensive. Max is going to be on the back of him into the first chicane. Second chicane. I can never remember the name of the damn thing. The second Ravazza? Whatever it's called. The Ferrari, the Alfa, and the Williams are the top three in terms of the...
Did you see George's race message?
He said something about race management, wasn't it? What did George say?
He was like, I don't know if you can see, but I've got a car up my arse. That's such a George response. Ferrari, Alfa, and Williams are the top 3 fastest teams in terms of straight line speed. Nice. Sorry, I'm so distracted by that radio message.
Written that down. So, being absolutely fair to Sainz, he's driving a cracking race.
Yeah.
Holding off a double world champion.
I think it's like you say, it's so awkward to pass round here. Except for turn 1 and turn 2, but obviously.
It's weird though, because it should be a track that should be fairly easy to pass, but it's not. But it should be, but it isn't. I'm going to mention it again, as we saw in the pre-GP. I happened to be part of a couple of passes where someone got past me and I went back past them and in the next DRS zone. So when you do get in front of someone, it's not done. It's not over. And if someone were to pass out of a sky into the Parabolica, there's a whole long DRS passing zone down the next one. So You really have to be choosing your passes around here. Ideally, where there's not a DRS zone straight after.
Yeah, 100%. Or at
Because that
least
means
pass
play
them
chicken.
going into the DRS zone.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you can still have the DRS.
Yeah. Do you remember DRS chicken at Saudi a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
That. Hamilton's on the back of Norris, but as you said, that's the two slowest cars in a straight line. Here comes Sergio. Oh, that was late from Russell. That was late. Perez will be complaining about that. I wouldn't blame him too much. Gasly's in the pit already.
Oof.
Yeah, those softs. Did he take softs off?
I don't know.
I swear I saw a red rim. But those front tyres looked like they were smoking.
Smoking hat.
Well, they must be in the region of 1,000 degrees by the time they stop. The only thing that saves them around here, weirdly enough, is the long straights, because it gets air and cooling air over the brakes and all the ducts. However, because of those long straights, it means there's big stops.
Wasn't it here last year that Sergio had a problem with his brakes?
Yeah, that rings a bell. That does ring a bell.
I'm not sure.
Yes, because he was at the back and he couldn't push through the field, and then they sort of came back afterwards, didn't they?
Yeah.
He finished the race, but he was very slow for somewhere in the middle of it. Russell is defending like mad from Perez. They are allowed to do that, defend, and move back across to take the racing line. But what they're not allowed to do is weave. Joe's in the pits as well. Is it Joe or Joe?
I don't know, you know. I say Joe.
Lawson's just taken Hulkenberg. Unseen by us. So here comes Gasly into the bits. Okay, he did take off the mediums. Front nose wouldn't go in and under properly. Oh, is this Fernando on Hulk as well? Oh, so Fernando's got Hulk, and then Lawson's got Hulk after that.
Must be the tyre degradation on that Haas is still not amazing.
I would agree. Yeah, because he's dropped 3 seconds to Alonso. Yeah, I mean, that Haas, there's always been... Oh! New graphic. This one I like.
So Sainz is deploying a lot more.
A lot less.
A lot less than Verstappen.
Yes. Because deploy isn't everything, it's regen as well. If Verstappen can deploy more and regen more, we can use more. Yeah, and as Brundle has literally just said, Sainz has been using his battery in a defensive manner, so probably down the main straight out Parabolica.
Also saying undercut would be very powerful, I think. Essentially. They're saying that though, on-track position seems to be quite powerful today.
Yeah, they're going to want to, if Russell's thinking about a pit stop already, they're going to want to drop him out into space. And I can't see any space anywhere behind him.
Space around Monza, that's rare, isn't it?
Yeah, as you found out in the qualifying yesterday. Into turn 1, boing!
Yeah.
Oh, I like that graphic with the mirror on the halo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
F1 treating us to some new camera angles we like.
And a graphic I actually like for a change. Yeah. One. I wish they'd bring back the infrared heat camera for the front tyres.
Yeah.
I liked that one. Not every race. Okay, every time Sainz goes defensive into turn 1, he narrows the exit he's going to get as Perez
Oh.
and Russell go across the chicane.
A place is gonna have to be swapped. What happened? Like,
Well, Perez was overtaken. He's let Russell back through. That was the only logical thing. If you both skip the corner, he pushed me off. Wait and see. We'll see that on replay, I'm sure.
yeah.
If I was Ferrari, I would be pitting Leclerc first.
Test out anything.
How did you want Perez? He was nowhere near you. But a metre between them.
Oh, we did take a wide line though. Both of them took really weird lines. To be fair.
The line was across the other one, across the corner. Yeah, no offense, Perez, but you haven't got a hope in hell of getting anything to that one. Yeah, but Leclerc just isn't quick here, is he?
No, he's just chilling in the middle at the moment.
Okay, here we go. Sainz is under pressure. He's locking up into turn 1. Okay, now he's going to have to deploy all of his battery just to stay ahead. No, here we go. Sainz is coming back.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of room.
He's coming back at him. This could end in tears.
Come on. Oh.
It's not over. It's not over. This could be into Lesmo.
Oh. Come on, Carlos.
New race leader. Okay.
Look how fast he's already. Like. Look how much he's already ahead by.
Yeah, that was just a case of the pressure that Max was just putting on Carlos. It was just too much, and he's locked up his tyres going into the first chicane, and boom. He's on the back foot. Max is pass. Yeah, Max is already 9.9 tenths ahead. So he's just about to break DRS already. And here comes Perez on Russell. Oh, that's going to be on the grass. Oh, no, he made it. Good clean pass.
Yeah.
Is that the racer lead over? Yeah, probably. To be fair, I'm surprised it lasted 15 laps.
But 15 laps that were like that we enjoyed very much. Now it's back to normal.
Okay, so Max has already broken DRS.
That Red Bull, like as soon as he's got a bit of clean air.
Honestly, it's a lot like when Vettel was in the early 2010s. As soon as they're out front, whomp, they're gone. Yeah, Max kept the nose of the car tight to the apex, just was able to get the throttle down a little bit earlier than Sainz, who was scrabbling for the corner. And although Sainz was coming back at him down the Curva Grande, that Red Bull is just too quick in the straights. It's just too quick everywhere.
Now he's giving his teammate a DRS. I wouldn't be surprised if they swap them.
What would the chat say? Swap the Ferraris or let them race?
Let them race, obviously.
They're on medium tyres. I mean, to make a one-stop work, they've got to get to at least lap 30, I would say.
Unless they're going to the hards.
Yeah.
Which a lot of teams have seemed to switch to the hards.
Yeah.
Albon's switched and he's now down to 13th.
A lot of those tyres, look, they've got more laps on them than what they've actually done. So I presume that these are the tyres that they've used for the, what was it, the ATT qualifying? Whatever it's called, like the tyre thing. The hard tyre for Q1, medium tyre for Q2, soft tyre for Q3. What's it called?
I have no idea what it's called, but
Alternate tyre test?
Maybe.
Whatever it was called.
Sounds right.
Yeah, Leclerc's now saying, I'm faster than Carlos.
Knew it.
To be absolutely fair to Carlos, I would imagine he's burned out his rear tyres just trying to put the power down and get away from Max for 15 laps. He's nuked him.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Charles is faster.
It might mean at this exact moment he is.
Yeah, in this moment he is, but...
Yeah, Sainz is complaining about the tyres. Max is already 3 seconds out of the way.
I'm saying, as soon as he's got clean air... He's gone!
And now the Ferraris have Perez come out, and now that he's got past Russell. Yeah, pit one of the Ferraris, I don't care which one, onto the hard tyres. What do you think?
Yeah, either or.
Yeah, they're still going round. Russell's doing a good job, actually. He's only 8 or 9 seconds off the lead. He's doing a good job. But Hamilton is fed up of seeing his old team right in front of him.
Yeah. But he's on hard, so he can go for much longer than the two McLarens in front.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to get rid of them as early as possible.
Yeah,
and
but
just go very long on the mediums. I wouldn't be surprised.
At least if you could go to like halfway through the race, or maybe just a little bit longer, and then switch to the mediums, like it might prove beneficial.
I'm wondering if Albon can go to the end or not. I mean, if he can't, that's going to let him look at maybe a P9 or 10 at best.
Yeah.
He's got to pit again. Current time. Okay, here come the Ferraris.
So
this.
Yeah, Sainz first. That's on the hards.
Red Bull just came out in the pit lane as well, so Perez.
That looks like
Russell?
Is that a Red Bull or is that a Mercedes?
It's Russell.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's Russell. That was a really weird colour, wasn't it?
Yeah. It looked like it's gonna say it looked like didn't look like a Mercedes to start off with, and I was like, huh?
We did see the Red Bull out in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think Sainz is going to undercut Verstappen though.
I wouldn't be surprised if they box Perez first, put him onto the hards to cap off the Ferrari, and obviously get Max to build a bigger gap.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Well, somewhere. Okay, here comes Max.
Oh no, I was wrong. They are actually pitting the lead Red Bull this time.
Oh.
Rare.
Well, they found. Well, yeah, I was thinking that they managed to find a little bit of a gap for Sainz to slot into. However, he's now up behind Bottas.
When did Perez catch up Leclerc?
Then.
But he was nowhere, and then he was just behind Leclerc.
Oh, I thought we were going to have an unsafe release there for a second.
Very close.
Let's say we end up with a 5-second penalty. Like, meh.
Yeah.
I'll just go 5 seconds quicker.
Yeah. Can we stop the race here? McLaren at 2 and 3. We'll stop the race here, okay? Goodbye.
That's where you finished yesterday.
I mean,
We're counting it.
I didn't in the results.
Oh, Ferraris came out so together.
Oof.
And Carlos is going to have the fresher tyres. I don't know which one's ahead of which. 16
Carlos is ahead.
So Leclerc's car 16 then.
Oof.
Well, they're going side by side. They are racing.
Go on, Ferrari boys. Don't fight too much, but fight. But
Yeah.
don't fight too much.
Well, with them fighting, they're just letting Perez get away.
This could play. Actually, this could play out in Hamilton's favour quite a bit, you know.
Now the Ferrari should be faster than, say, like Hamilton and whatnot.
Oh,
And
100%.
Fresh tyres.
But like, if Hamilton can hold off and don't pit for like maybe until like lap 30,
Go hang for a safety car.
or go hang.
Incident involving Russell and Ocon leaving the track and gaining an advantage. We didn't see that.
No, didn't see that.
Okay, Perez has come out behind the 2 Ferraris. And Max is 6 seconds ahead of this lot.
Crazy. Actually, saying that, I revert my statement because Verstappen is just going to blitz through the Mercedes and the 2 McLarens. I bet McLaren are like, can we stop the race here, please? Considering their
Danny
cars.
Rick flashbacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the site McLaren's last one too in 2020.
2021. I believe.
Wasn't last year. Was the year before. 21, yes. I had to think of what year it actually was. Yes,
actually, the hards Hamilton is on, he must have used yesterday because they're 24 lap old tyres. So Norris is pitting now, maybe hope to undercut his teammate, maybe?
I would say that's a logical decision, yeah. Maybe they'll leave Piastri out there just to see if he can get into a window where he can use a soft tyre.
Maybe. I think he'll get swallowed up quite quickly though.
And this is a kind of track, I mean, I know this is from the games and whatnot. This is the kind of track where you can get away with using a soft tyre for longer because there aren't that many corners when it challenges the tyres around here.
But there's a lot
of braking.
I was going to say there's a lot of braking zones.
And a lot of acceleration zones as well. Turn 2 incident involving Russell and Ocon under investigation, leaving track and gaining an advantage. Who?
Yeah, I was going to say who.
Sounds like probably Russell.
Brilliant stop by McLaren. It looked like it.
Definitely. Here we go.
Like
So he's coming out of the pits. If he's retained that position, yeah, he's gained an advantage.
Oh, 100%.
Or he's just elected. He might have just elected to just keep going and say, I'll have a 5-second penalty. I don't care. I'm not getting stuck behind him.
Maybe. So Piastri's coming into the pits now.
Okay.
Actually, he's coming out of the pits.
Yeah, that is strange, McLaren, to give the lead driver the second pit stop. So you might see Norris shoot. He's on the outside of him right now.
Ooh.
They touched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he just say that word?
Yes. 5-second penalty for George Russell. Oh, look, it's a replay of the two McLarens.
Yeah, they did touch. Hamilton is leading the race.
Max Verstappen, like, right down his neck.
Oh, God. If anyone's going to take him out.
Yeah, please. Please don't. Oh. Oh. The head already.
Lewis misses his braking point. Oops. Oh, dear. Seriously, my brain was going...
Did you hear him? The difference 2 years make.
Yeah, last time they ended up on top. Well, Verstappen on top of him. Right there.
Well, yeah, Lewis just got swallowed up very quickly.
Yeah, I'm not even surprised with old tyres versus new tyres. I know the hard tyres, but yeah, I mean that Red Bull is quicker than that Marquez.
I know, but if he can wait and then go on the mediums, maybe he'll be a little bit faster than the cars around him.
Yeah, Lewis is playing the long game. He's got enough speed to be able to build an advantage over the slower cars, but I still think he's going to come out in P10, maybe P11. I mean, Lawson's right with Alonso still as well, and even then, Joe is right with Lawson, and yeah. We're already halfway through this race, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally, this is one of the faster races on the calendar because it is literally just flat out.
Incident between the McLaren drivers was noted.
Incident? What, touching a wheel? Okay, Perez is on the back of Leclerc. He's doing the same thing that Max was doing to Sainz, making the Ferraris defend and narrow their own line into the corner. Bottas is finally pitted. Yeah, get out of the top 11, out of the way. So we're going to see this again from Piastri's point of view. So Norris is going to come shooting down the left-hand side. Ooh, that was a lot bigger a touch than I thought it was.
Yeah, that could have ended so badly.
Yeah, Piastri is coming a bit hot.
I'm so surprised that didn't end worse.
Yeah. I do feel Piastri has something to complain about, though, because they have jumped Norris ahead of him.
I was going to say, it doesn't look very good on Norris because earlier in the race he was moaning that he was the faster McLaren. So it kind of looks like he's just, oh, I'm faster. I'm getting past no matter what sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But saying that, good car control from both of them for not making that incident worse. Because
that could easily end up with one car in the air.
That's what I'm saying. Because you've seen it before when the two wheels come together.
A la Max and Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Orlando had a 2.1 second pit stop, and he got a 2.7 pit stop. Just goes to show how small margins can make a big difference. Yeah.
And the undercut. That was ambitious of Sainz passing into Ascari.
It paid off though. Look how far, look how close Leclerc. Yeah.
Leclerc nearly went out the back of Lewis though.
Albon and someone. Hamilton's coming in.
Well, it's got to be mediums, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit early though. Would at least hold him off till lap 30.
Well, it will definitely manage that. It will definitely manage that to the end. I still think he's going to drop down to 10th or 11th, if not 12th. Oh, he might get out just behind Alonso. Alongside Alonso. Just behind Alonso. Okay. Called it. But at least he will be faster than that Aston Martin.
Maybe. Maybe not on the straights, though.
Maybe not on the straights. Lap time, yes. Straights, no. You might be able to see Hamilton fight back to about 6th or 7th, depending on his pace. What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say probably 6th or 7th. I reckon that's the maximum he can get today.
Hamster's complaining about his tyres. Shocker.
I would have held him off a little bit longer. Just a little bit.
It might be that they saw a gap in the traffic and went, you're going in there, rather than risk it. Particularly if Lawson was coming at them a bit.
Aston was marginally quicker than the McLaren, the Merc and the Haas on the straights.
Lewis is only 3 tenths behind Alonso. 2 tenths. I want to be watching that. 1 tenth. 1.5. If I can see it on the time screen.
Hamilton's passed him.
Called it. Yeah, that's the benefit of the fresh tyre. So Alonso might come back at him here.
Maybe.
If anyone's going to have a go, it will be Alonso.
Yeah.
Ted Kravitz is saying that Albon's tyres aren't going to last. They were talking about that the track temperature has gone up as well, which obviously has an effect on the degradation of the tyres. So it could be Albon's setup is not to these conditions.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, if he pits now, he's going to come out about 15th.
But saying that, if the tyre degradation and the track temperature has gone up, could we see more teams pitting towards the end?
It's only 21 laps to go. If a team wants to throw on another set of mediums or a set of soft tyres with only 15 laps to go, maybe. I mean, you can just see that Albon has no grip at all. I'm not saying his acceleration's all right, it's just like braking.
That was very close between Brando and Albon. But that Williams has just got that acceleration at the moment.
It does appear to, doesn't it?
Here's a question. Do you reckon the Tifosi would be happy there's at least one Ferrari on the podium? Maybe not winner.
Yeah. In this year, maybe, but any other year, probably not.
Oh, so close. Oh,
How did Perez stay on the track for that one?
Jesus Christ.
He's going to be complaining. Oh, he pushed me off.
Mm. Eee.
Whatever happens between now and the checkered flag, Ferrari, their drivers, have given it everything to give the best possible result for the Tifosi here in Monza this weekend.
He's not giving any space.
Yeah. Don't give me the room.
He hasn't got DRS once again, Charles Leclerc.
It did look like the rear of his car was a bit wobbly.
Here he goes.
That looked easy.
Eventually, it looked easy. I imagine he got a little bit annoyed after that little trip across the gravel, and was like, "All right, I'm making this one stick."
Mm.
And that's one thing that some of the second drivers, like Perez and Bottas a couple of years ago, don't have, like a killer instinct. I mean, Max would have been diving up the inside from 40 yards further back.
Mm.
I mean, once you can see maybe Perez is a bit more annoyed, he's just come out of the final corner. So with so much more impetus that he's never going to be stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, the Alpines are looking bad round here. No way of nicely putting it.
Hamilton's still 4 seconds off the McLarens. I do wonder if Albon is going to try and make it to the end.
I mean, maybe. But when you've got two McLarens, like, ready to pounce sort of thing. Ew. Yeah, Gasly pitted for the second time.
I mean, this is a track where the pit stop is, because it's a 200-mile-an-hour plus straight, you don't want to be stopped any longer than you want to be at all, because a pit stop is so costly around here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with only 18 laps left, you'd have to go a second and a half faster every single lap to make the time back. So I can understand why a lot of drivers don't want to do a second stop. I mean, we've just got Verstappen, who's just set the fastest lap of the race. Anyone who pits now could theoretically go faster, because by the time the fuel comes down and the hard tyres start to degrade, they're never going to go quicker.
No.
Funny enough, Perez hasn't got on the back of Sainz very quickly. Leclerc is still with Perez.
Maybe they can play DRS chicken.
Maybe. I think Russell's safe in P5. I mean, he's got a 5-second penalty, but he's 14 seconds ahead of Albon. So I genuinely think he went, I'll accept the penalty.
Potentially. They made it stick. He didn't touch. Decent move from Ocon. They've pitted Lawson again.
That's surprising. And Joe. And K-Mag.
No, Lawson seemed to be doing alright. Wonder why they've him again. Maybe that AlphaTauri is just a bit bleh.
I'd say anything that, well, any of the Alfa Romeos, Haas, Alpines, AlphaTauris, and all that sort of thing, anything not in the top 3 or 4, will have to pit probably twice, realistically.
Max has set the fastest second sector almost 5 tenths quicker than the next fastest within that same lap.
He's just having fun out there.
Yeah.
What do you think Max's dominance says about Perez?
It's hard, isn't it, when you compare the two drivers in the same car. It's, I mean, I think we all know that the Red Bull will always be set up more for Verstappen than it is second driver, for as long as Verstappen is in the sport. I mean, Perez he's a decent driver. He's consistent when he's doing all right. He's not slow by any means. I just think it's like a double-edged sword because of who his teammate is, and what team it is. If he was any other team, I think they'd be singing his praises, sort of thing. But obviously, when he does make those silly mistakes, it's a bit like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, like being out of Q3 like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah, it's a bit like, you sure about that?
He hasn't had a good race since we won in Azerbaijan, I think it was as well.
Yeah, since then he's kind of just been, he's been there all around the podium. There are a few races where he's not been anywhere really. It's again when you kind of compare, obviously, like someone like Alonso and Stroll, although it's different. It's like both cars have got the same components and same like structure. One driver's driving, where one's just at the bottom of the grid, basically.
Existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, it's harsh to say bad things about Perez who's running in P3, but yet again, he's 10 seconds behind Max, which, considering it's a good race for him.
Yeah. And it's like a double-edged sword. Because even when you think, like, when he's second, he's like, oh, he should be closer to Max because he's in a Red Bull. But
and he would be closer if he'd actually sorted his qualifying out.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday qualifying was a little bit exceptional because so many cars. What was it? The top 3 cars within a 10th.
I think so. I think they were all within like a second and a half of each other.
Yeah.
All the way from like 1st to 15th, I think. Like all within like a small margin.
Yeah, it was. But the point being is it's always Max on the top step, isn't it? Always.
I think Perez's race pace is definitely better than his quali pace, for sure.
The world is round and day follows night. Hamilton is complaining about his tyres. Sorry about that.
Nothing's changed there then. The top 3 were separated by 0.063 seconds.
Yeah, less than a 10th. I'm surprised the McLarens haven't after being told that they had the second slowest in a straight line. I'm not surprised they haven't got in front of Albon, but I'm surprised they're not even trying to. It looks like they're not trying to.
Maybe
obviously they are.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're trying to look after the tyres a little bit in the hopes that Albon's tyres are slowly going to fall off.
Yeah, they're physically going to have to start degrading, like chunking up a little bit. because Albon seems to be both very good under pressure and have a very fast car in a straight line. As Norris looks like he's going to give it a go.
Hmm?
Albon is going defensive into turn 1. No, there's no room there, Norris. You'll have to give that place back.
Give it back, give it back.
Because what you can't do is give it back and come back at someone the next corner. That is not allowed. Hamilton lost a win through that a few years ago. He passed Kimi into the bus stop at Spa, and then let him back through down the main straight. You know how short that straight is? Yeah, and then passed him into La Source, the first corner. And they went, that's not allowed. And then they took the win away from him. They gave him a 10, 20-second penalty or something. Bar 07 or 08, one of those two.
It's that
You'd think corner is tricky.
Yeah, you'd think they'd know by now, but like that's what I said earlier. When they're going slow, yeah, they can definitely run side by side. But when they're racing, like at full race speed, going into that first corner, the line you have to take, you're not going to get two cars next to each other, considering how wide those cars are.
Yeah. And that is also a corner where if you are going running outside in the first part of it, it's then a 90-degree left, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're both not going to get two cars alongside it, like you say. And if you're going 90 degrees left while you're still pointing to turn right to get the car around it, you're going to... Going around the outside there is gutsy, but it doesn't work.
No.
Unless you're willing to run someone off the road. Who am I thinking of?
Well, I think if they are like so far ahead in that corner, then obviously the driver that's now behind has to give a little bit, but no one wants to really give a little bit. So it's that thing. It's like, do you try or do you you risk it?
I would wait for DRS and try and do it down the next straight.
Yeah.
I mean, what Max did to pass Carlos was perfect. He forced Carlos into a mistake, and he just cut back in down the outside of him and passed him into the next chicane. Can't argue it.
The McLaren drivers are struggling to get past Albon, although he has older tyres. 22 laps versus 15 and 14 for Lando and Piastri, respectively.
It's alright having fresher tyres. If the other car is 10 miles an hour faster in a straight line,
yeah,
doesn't matter. And now you got Hamilton joining that battle as well. He's right behind Piastri and Norris and Albon. So he has caught up to them. But he's only gapped Alonso. Okay. Hamilton and Piastri both cut across the chicane. I do think there should be a limit on that, the amount of times that could happen, because that's literally, I'll brake as late as you, when you do, I'm going to force you off the track and I'm going to cut the track and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
At some point, that is pushing the limits of the track. And here goes Perez for P2.
Looked a little bit of weaving there.
Leclerc still... This is just like the opening 15 laps again, but it's a different Red Bull.
Yeah. Do it again. Leclerc is lurking there. Although I think out of the two Ferrari drivers, I think Sainz definitely deserves to be on the podium just that little bit more. That's... Yeah, I was going to say Hamilton was always going to make that stick.
It's the same thing Max did as well. But you can just see that Merc is not quick in a straight line.
Yeah, I was going to say, both of them are about the same sort of speed. Oh my god!
I thought he was in the barrier there for a second.
Yeah.
That rear wheel touch, that front wheel into the barrier.
Oh, Christ. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do to me, McLaren and Mercedes? Jesus Christ.
That'll be a black and white flag for Piastri for a damaged front wing. Okay, here comes Perez.
Whose fault is that, technically?
I think it's Hamilton's.
Is it?
It depends if Piastri's outbraked himself or if Hamilton's moved over on Piastri, but it looked like to me Hamilton may have moved over onto Piastri. But until we see it from Piastri's front view or Hamilton's rear view...
Shouldn't it be a black and orange flag? Okay.
Could be a black and orange flag. Oh, the meatball flag. The black orange dot, or whatever it is. I'm surprised he didn't put soft tyres on that car, though. Okay, this is from Piastri's point of view. Hamilton's on the left. Yeah, that's Hamilton. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get... Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really deny that, can you?
No. That's a 5-second penalty for Hamilton, in my view.
I'm surprised Hamilton, corrected that, though. It looked like he was facing, towards the wall at one point, and then went, hey!
He's still got good reactions. If a little bit of poor judgment today. Perez is going... Right, Leclerc might get a chance to come back at him there because he's had to cut the corner. No, he's managed that quite well. He's managed that well enough. Albon's still P6 though.
Yeah.
Heck of a drive from him.
Yeah, so that it's under investigation, the collision.
Yeah, that would be a penalty. I mean, it can't not be. We should put him behind Alonso. I mean, that's going to get him 2 points instead of 3 or 4 points.
I thought either one of them was going to go to the barrier. I was like, ugh.
I thought, oh, safety car.
Yeah. But it all really depends if he gets that 5-second penalty or not.
There's a Haas right behind this lot. It's been lapped. That's catching them. I've been keeping an eye on it for the last few laps.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually catching the Ferraris. That must be...
See, it could be either one, to be fair.
Yeah, well, they're both in the same sort of place. I don't think Norris is going to get past Albon, despite Albon having knackered tyres.
Nah, not with the speed of that Williams. I don't think so. Unless, obviously, maybe DRS next lap.
Saying it, I may have just jinxed him because here it comes Norris. Hamilton penalty, 5 seconds. 5 seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
It's to be expected. You can't overly argue that. Piastri fastest lap?
Yeah, I was going to say Piastri fastest lap.
So, okay, so Hamilton, if he wants to get any of these positions, he's got to pass them
now.
soon, and take off down the road. Oh, here comes Perez on Sainz. Sainz goes defensive. He's going to try it. That was a bit naughty from Sainz. I mean, quite a few of these ones that the Red Bulls have been alongside the rear wheel. That was fully alongside. I mean, I still believe if you're going to try and make that left into the second part of it, it's still a big ask, but that was Hamilton on Norris. See, that is actually how you do it. I mean, that's a big difference in tyre compounds and whatnot. But yeah, Hamilton was ahead. Sargent, the bosses have had a collision somewhere. Did I just see Piastri drop down the field?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Because I thought he was in 12th, now I see him in 14th.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I wasn't keeping an eye on it.
I saw a couple of switches.
Pedro says, I think...
Perez. He's got him.
Leclerc's just there. I think Checo has damage. I saw a bit of carbon fibre flying from his car. Bottas is doing a great job. Piastri has been behind Lawson since he left the pits.
Okay. It might have just been where the fastest lap marker come up. It might have just moved. I saw Piastri and it moving up and down.
Moving up and down, side to side, like a...
Oh, every time these two go side by side, there's contact. Yeah, Piastri has got Stroll, so he's on the back of Lawson next, who's then 6.5 seconds behind Sargent. So I think that's as far as Piastri's going.
Yeah. Not really his fault, bless him. Yeah. Pedro is saying, please Hamilton, don't take Alex out. If there's anyone, please don't take him out. Look at that Red Bull, look, it's already gone. No! Oh no! Oh, Carlos. Ferrari, come on! Like, that was... Please don't take each other out.
Okay. I think Sainz has cut across the... Yeah, I think he should give that position back. No, Haas is still there. Okay, Haas. Hamilton has done Albon, and here comes Norris. It's not even the last 10 laps of the race, it's the last 4 laps of the race. So Hamilton is going to be wanting to push as hard as he can. He's already 1.7 ahead of Albon, 2 seconds ahead of Norris, and 2.6 ahead of Alonso, who's now coming out these two. Oh, Leclerc losing the rear end a little bit there, under braking.
Out of the two, I believe Sainz deserves that third place a little bit more.
He's earned it.
Yeah. He just needs to keep Leclerc behind him for another... What's that, 3 laps now? 3 or 4 laps?
About 3.5, yeah. So he reasonable pass for Hamilton down into turn 1. Ooh.
That was close.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like from Hamilton there is where he swept across to the outside on the exit of the corner. I don't like it when drivers do that. You need to leave room. I don't care who does it. Any driver that does that.
Yeah.
Bugbear of mine. Pet peeve.
Pet peeve.
Piastri's on the back of Lawson now.
And the two Ferrari boys. Oh. Oof.
The Ferraris are doing their best to wreck their cars.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Bit too much on the sausage curbs there.
Yeah. And the Hasso is just enjoying the show.
Everyone is going to be like, see, Max, this is how you make a move into turn 1.
Rather than trying to kill a 7-time world champion at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he obviously didn't, but you got to have a little bit of a joke about it. Ending up with his tyre on Hamilton's head.
Confused Hawkey noises. Confused and concerned. Ooh.
Better than angry Yuki noises or...
Did you hear that? Did you see that from Leclerc?
I did. Bit sideways. So Sainz is trying to get talk to the team to call Leclerc off, which I could only say at this point is quite reasonable. Leclerc's got nothing to gain from a podium, not really.
Maybe some confidence back. I don't know. I think either Ferrari driver need that confidence boost.
It's amazing how often we talk about Ferrari drivers and them needing a confidence boost.
Well, Charles has been quite open about him struggling.
And here he goes. Hamilton is 5 seconds ahead of Norris. 4.8 and a half ahead of Albon.
Yeah.
So he needs to find 1.2, 1.5 tenths.
I say that's 2 penalties for both Mercedes drivers weekend.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about Russell's one.
Yeah.
That was with Ocon, wasn't it? There's Piastri and Lawson. That might be a penalty for Piastri if he keeps that one.
Yes, kept it. Sergeant? Oh, Sergeant got a penalty. Bottas, we never saw that though.
Who knows at this point?
Oh my god. Didn't Ferrari just tell him not to race?
Yeah. Leclerc's tyres after locking up into turn 1 and literally white smoke billowing out the sides are going to be basically like round, flat, round, flat, round, flat.
Yeah.
You're going to hear that car coming. No joke. I'll have to show you a clip of what happened to Kimi Räikkönen once, and which I'm going to have to show you separately. I'm going to have to show you and get it recorded. It's in Nürburgring 2005, and there's a reason why. Kimi did something very similar. Where's my food? Where's my food?
not food, it's just a drink.
Where's my food?
You didn't order it.
I did 2 weeks ago. Still not here. Album P7. That's well fought.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit thinking about that. Obviously, Piastri has kept that position on Lawson. Because it didn't look.
Sorry, Kilo said, how's Verstappen doing? He won. Oh, he's about to have a roast dinner. Go for it. Lawson and Piastri under investigation, leaving the track and gaining an advantage. They'll probably both end up with a penalty now. Shall we get on to the tiers?
You want to?
I think we should. 1, I'm hungry. I want some food. 2, it's a Red Bull 1-2 with signs.
I think Sign's very deserving of that third place. So.
Absolutely. I can't deny any of the top 3 didn't deserve to be there, and it's, as much as we give Perez flack, he has fought so hard to get that P2 today.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at the other cars. They're like, I don't want to stay behind these two.
It is good to see the Ferraris both on the same lap and relatively close to the Red Bull. I mean, less than 10 seconds away, less than 15 seconds away from Max at the end of a race is good going,
yeah,
as far as Ferrari are concerned. Okay. Okay, are you ready with the finishing order, Sarah?
I will be. Finally, Pedro sent it to me as well. Thank you.
Because I said I can't imagine Verstappen's enjoying being in first all the time. No, the thing is, I think he's actually a very gracious winner. He's not stupidly arrogant. He's a very bad loser, though. If he gets anything other than P1, he's horrible. I mean, I can't actually knock Max for today. He's done brilliantly again, and that's the most annoying thing. It's just consistently too good for the rest of the field. Yeah, and Kudos raises a point. Him and iRacing is a good example. Yeah, he does throw hissy fits. He really does. Right, you ready for us to switch over to the tier grouping?
Yeah.
Yeet. All right, let's have yourself a nice meal, my man.
Driver of the day, Carlos Sainz. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with whoever voted.
Right, apparently driver of the day was Carlos Sainz.
Very deserving.
Oops, sorry. Did that in the wrong order.
Right, Diminch disappeared on mine.
Okay. Are you ready?
Give me un memento.
Mementos.
Just get the call it? Yeah. Okay. And boom, there we go.
Right, we're going to start with... This is not even in any remote order. Why is Russell at the end? There you go. Why is Hulk... Okay, this...
I think I found an updated tier list as well, by the way, with the drivers. But
Okay, that'd be good.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
if next time send it to me. This is roughly in alphabetical order, roughly, but we had Russell at the end for some reason. Right, so we did it in normal alphabetical last time. Should we do it from reverse?
Can do, if you would like to.
Sure. I would indeed. Simply put, Joe started P16.
Finished P14.
Feelings?
Didn't do anything wrong, but didn't do anything spectacular that we saw.
I knew you were going to say that.
Didn't really hear anything from him during the race. Didn't really see much from him. I don't think he's done anything bad, in a way. But
Gone up one place. If you take out Yuki out of the runnings.
yeah. Maybe a C+.
In that Alfa Romeo, I think that is more than fair. I was thinking C, but I'm willing to concede that.
But he's not done anything bad. That's why I'm putting him in a C+.
And he's gone up a place in a Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
That's right. Next one, Max Verstappen.
I think we all kind of know where he started and finished.
B2 to 1.
Yep.
A or A star. I mean, it's just obvious at this point. Can we make diced and fought for the lead? If it was an A star, I'd say it was a weak A star.
I'd go A then, maybe.
Still has the fastest car. I think that's the only reason why I'm not wanting to put it in A star.
Yeah, if it was like any other car fighting for the lead, then yeah, I agree with you.
And he clearly has a few more parts, as you said, about the rear wing than Perez.
Yeah, he's got a slightly adapted rear wing, I saw somewhere.
Yeah. If it was anything else, yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a dominant win from him this time.
Yeah. If it was more dominant, it would have been an A star. Right, Yuki, that's non-applicable. I mean, it's fairly obvious. Out even before the race started, so yeah. Okay, Stroll, he started last.
He finished in 16th place. So behind an Alpine that pitted twice.
I think he pitted twice as well. Where did Alonso finish?
P9. Not a great weekend for the Astons. Maybe not necessarily suited to this track.
Where did he finish? Sorry?
16th.
C or C minus?
I'll go C minus. Still, in that Aston, he should be at least near his teammate.
And he's not. He's 7 places behind his teammate.
Pedro would say D. Or C minus.
Just wants to give Stroll the D.
But hey.
Great. Alright, Sargent. Started P15.
Finished P13 with the 5-second penalty, I assume. You must have.
He did have a penalty.
I think he was running 11th, wasn't he? It must be with the penalty, I assume.
Albon finished 7th, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's about the same as Stroll, really, isn't it?
Yeah, 13th is not, I guess, not too bad. But did cause a collision that we haven't yet seen. I'd be tempted to put him with Stroll.
I'm thinking that's fair, but probably stronger than Stroll just to the sheer fact he's in a Williams.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Signs. Started P1, finished P3, and fought tooth and nail for that.
Yeah, I think maybe potentially either A or A star, like very deserving driver of the day and on the podium. Obviously he had to fight with 2 Red Bulls and his teammate. And he still came out on 3rd, so which is probably the maximum that the Ferrari could have got this weekend, fortunately.
I don't think it's A star worthy.
No?
For 2 reasons. Max pressurised him into a mistake, which caused him to lose a position. And it did seem that Leclerc was faster in the race towards the end.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a perfect drive from Sainz.
No.
I just think it's a very good drive from Sainz. Very good. I mean,
Maybe
saying
an
good
A
is
then?
an understatement. I think it's a strong A.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
think
I'd
that's
agree.
fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I do
will
think
agree.
it was, for the equipment that he's got, it's at least on par with Max. At
Yeah.
least. So, yeah. I just couldn't bring myself to give him an A for dropping 2 positions. A star.
Yeah. Get that.
All right. Russell started P4.
Finish P5. With a 5-second penalty.
Which I would maintain he made that decision and went, I'm just going to finish way ahead of these guys anyway.
Mm.
It'd probably be one of those,
Yeah.
I really think that was tactical, which shows a lot of potential forward thinking and just ignoring the rules.
Yeah.
Grade-wise, though, and he did have a big fight with Perez for a long time, held him off. I'm just making the case for a B. He definitely did better than Joe.
Yeah, I'd probably say B.
I mean, some of the fighting he did alone was sort of A-ish worthy, but that penalty and the willingly flouting the rules is a little bit... Never mind. Piastri. Pastry. Started P7.
Finish P12.
P12.
But... Oh no, they did. They sorted it out. Lawson did finish ahead of him.
Okay.
So, yeah, P12 overall.
Piastri was undercut by Norris.
And was forced, well, did have the collision with Hamilton, which wasn't really his fault.
I agree.
So, a bit of a hard one to call for Piastri.
I'd put him in the same sort of thing as Russell.
Yeah?
Considering he was one of the slower cars in a straight line. Yeah.
Although he did, obviously towards the end, it must have sorted that out, but he did obviously corner cut on Lawson.
Fastest lap of the race as well.
Not sure if Piastri's result has a penalty added to it or not. Well, he was in front of Lawson, but now on the results you sent me, he's behind Lawson, so they must have sorted it out somewhat. Very solid race from him until that collision with Hamilton, yeah. Very... I don't know, it's a hard one to call.
I'm honestly thinking he probably deserves a week B.
Nearly finished. Thanks. Midnight is wondering where his food is. Deliveries. 2 deliveries apparently.
Just Eat or Deliveroo?
Just see your delivery. Deliveroo. Thank you. I'll be down shortly.
I'm not typing that into Google in case it comes up with something.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Thank you.
Shall we go with a B and be done with it for Piastri?
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily a bad race. Obviously, there were a few challenges that came his way.
Yeah. Okay, Perez. Started P5, ended up P2, as we all know. I do think that was a strong race.
He did. It's going into turn 1 though. He kept going.
He did keep going off.
Yeah.
I think with that in mind, he kept trying to go around the outside in really stupid places. I can't give him an A.
Yeah.
But I can give him a what would essentially be a B+.
Yeah, and I reckon top of B.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a good race from him. As simple as that. Okay, Ocon. I don't remember seeing him at all. He started P18.
According to the no.
According to I've just eaten a sandwich.
No, crisp.
Okay.
According to the results that Pedro sent me, he finished 19th and was actually out of the race.
So he retired somewhere at the end.
Which I didn't remember seeing.
No. Nor do I.
Yeah, 19th
Okay.
and technically out of the race.
Okay, that surprises me somewhat because I didn't notice that. Okay.
According to the graph, it says that he went out between around the 40th lap.
10 laps to the end. Don't remember seeing that.
No, neither.
Sounds like a mechanical though. He did have engine problems yesterday.
And obviously, like Pedro said, that the Alpine was a bit
Dreadful.
Yeah, it was a bit dreadful this weekend.
I'm almost willing to put him in A just because I can't tell you anything about his race.
It's a typical Ocon race.
Nothing.
You don't notice him until the final step.
C minus.
Yeah. He didn't finish the race. Did have a good move on. Who was it? I can't remember. I saw one of the Alpines do a good move on someone. But
Not on my notes.
I can't remember who it was.
I think we have to put him there and leave him there.
Yeah.
Cool. Norris. P9. Start.
I finished P8. Did have the collision also with his teammate, obviously. And couldn't make the move stick on Albon.
No, he couldn't.
And that was a battle that went on for quite a while.
Yeah, it was. Was very lucky with the undercut on Piastri. Which is... there's going to be questions asked about that. Generally speaking, I think it's kind of the same as Piastri, but maybe just a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Because he only got in front of him with effectively either team orders or the undercut, either way.
Oh, well, you kind of got in front of him with a little bit of a bonk.
And that as well. Right, K-Mag. Started 19th. Must have been about...
Finished 18th. A lap down. Both Hasses were a lap down from the lead lap.
But most cars weren't even close to being lapped today. They were easily lapped. C minus again.
Saying that Straw, I think, was very close to being lapped, but it wasn't lapped.
It's an improvement for him. I kind of think C minus.
Yeah, it's a Haas that you can't really. There's not much they can really do, to be honest.
Right, Charles Leclerc started P3. Don't even have to look.
Before.
Seemed a bit wild at the end, didn't he?
Obviously, he had that massive lockup, but he was wanting to fight, race his teammate.
Give us a bit of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'd be thinking somewhere in the B category.
Yeah.
I think Sainz was strong. Sainz, it's easier to be the hunter than hunted.
Oh, 100%.
I think Sainz did a better job today, even though Leclerc looked a bit faster. Not by much, but enough to be irritating.
Mm-hmm.
B behind Norris. I mean, it's still a fairly solid. B.
I'd be tempted to put him in front of both McLaren boys.
Under what thinking? Because I can't think of anything of.
He was fighting. Did he fight with the Red Bull initially? He had a solid race, like Pedro said, all things considered, in a Ferrari.
Solid, very solid. We're just getting down to the finer details.
I think he definitely is better than both McLaren boys.
If that's the case, I think he's better than Russell then, because Russell had a penalty.
Potentially. I'm not.
Had a good battle with Perez a couple of times.
Yeah, he defended from Checo for a long time. He was starting to try and he was wanting to race. I'd put him in front of George actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Okay. Hulkenberg started 13th.
Finished P17 a lap down.
Weak C minus.
Yeah.
It is a Haas.
Yeah.
That's literally all. This is the only redeeming factor. He's in a Haas. Okay, Hamilton. He was in the lead.
Briefly.
Had an incident with Piastri.
Got a 5-second penalty.
Did the anti-strategy.
Yes, which didn't really pay off.
Not, it kind of did. He got out of Albon. I mean, he started in P8, and where did he finish?
P6.
Exactly. A whole 2 places up. That's easily an A star.
Oh my god.
It's just not.
If he didn't have the collision with Piastri, I would have been tempted to rate him higher up.
Yep. So I'll show you what I'm thinking.
Alright.
It's here or here.
Yeah, I'd be tempted.
Should we just say he's equal with Lando?
Yeah.
Done. Right. Gasly. P17.
Finished P15. I had to pit twice. Well.
See?
Yeah.
Didn't see him.
No, the pace of that Alpine this weekend was a bit.
Yeah, it sucked. Okay, this one is a picture of De Vries. However, it's going to be Lawson, who is competing in his second ever race. So only the second time of using soft tyres. F1 slicks, anyway. Started... Where did he start?
P12.
P12, yeah. That was great.
Finished P11. In an AlphaTauri. And pitted twice.
I think he deserves a B.
Yeah, I'd be tempted. I think he's quite impressive at the moment. Seems to be doing quite well.
He hasn't done anything wrong again.
Was the only AlphaTauri running today.
There was a note about him towards the end saying he had a collision with Bottas, wasn't it? Either way, we don't know the
No,
outcome
that was
of that.
that was the Piastri thing when Piastri overtook him, but went off track to gain an advantage. He finished in front of Piastri.
Yeah, I'm sure there was something else with Lawson. Doesn't really matter. I think he's deserving of a B.
Yeah, I'd agree.
He's in a terrible car.
I'd agree.
But where on that ranking?
I'd be tempted to put him in front of Hamilton.
I was thinking a bit higher up. No problems today. Not really, unless we count that one at the end. But
yeah,
I would say most of these can be somewhat interchangeable.
yeah, I would agree with that.
We're going to keep him there. Okay, Bottas started 14th.
Finished 10th. For the last point.
B.
Yeah, is the B our new average?
Some good drives out there today.
Yeah, to be fair.
To be fair, the worst one we got so far is the C-.
Yeah.
So I think it's an above average day.
Yeah, no, it seems to be that Monza kind of brings out a lot of entertainment, but also like a lot of strong drives.
Right.
So
I think he's due a B. Yeah. Yeah, point for that car.
Yeah,
okay,
especially
Alonso P10 to
P9.
I don't think it was that good, to be honest.
Didn't see much from him.
I mean, Yuki started a position behind him. He's only gained one position, and that would be from
Overtaking Hulk.
Hulk started behind him.
Oh yeah. Oh no, because he fell back, didn't he? He fell behind Hulk.
He did.
And then he overtook Hulk.
Who's he got ahead of? Oh, Piastri. He's gained one position through dumb luck. I think it's a C.
Yeah.
Maybe C plus, because Gasly was anonymous. Alonso actually did a pass or two.
Yeah.
And was fighting with Norris at the end.
Maybe, yeah, go on then. You've tempted me.
Awesome. Albon. Started P6.
Finished P7. Behind Hamilton. Kept the Norris behind.
Yeah, both McLarens.
Yeah.
Just not Hamilton on the fresher, softer tyres. In a Mercedes. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking a B, but top end B. Probably in front of Bottas.
I'm just wondering if there could be a case made for A. I'm just considering it. Suppose we didn't see him overtake anyone. I think B would be appropriate. I do think it'd be the king of the B grades, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think top end B. Because it is a Williams at the end of the day.
They are designed to be slippery in a straight line, and they always seem to get points here. And De Vries did last year in his first Grand Prix.
True.
See if you didn't. Also, it was this time last year that Albon nearly died.
True.
He did actually die for a few seconds, and they had to resuscitate him, apparently. Anywho.
He did the longest stint on the hards as well, considering all the top 10 drivers. Pedro thinks it's definitely a B.
Good info. I think we're going to leave that there. I'm reasonably happy with that. We haven't really got any bad drives today. I mean, no one did anything overly stupid. The silliest things we saw was Max trying to go around the outside in turn 1. Hamilton having a little bit of trip over damage with Piastri, and a few meh drives from the Haas, Ocon, Stroll, and Sargent, and that's about as far as it goes, really.
Yeah.
But it really, isn't it? Not the most exciting of races. On that note, rate the race quickly. Out of 10.
6.
I was thinking exactly 6 as well. I mean, the first 15 laps were really good, and it's
yeah.
Yeah. If you race it on the first 15 laps, it would probably be a 9, just because it was tense.
Yeah.
And then it just went, yeah. So Verstappen's gone. Here comes the other Red Bull. Good racing. I might up it a little bit to like 6.25. 6.25.
Right.
Anywho, predictions. I said Max does not win. No points.
Well.
Track limits causing race-altering positions in the last quarter of the race. Nope. McLaren podium.
Wait. Say your other one again.
Which one? First one, second one?
Second one.
Track limits causing race-altering positions in the last quarter of the race. And I don't include people cutting the chicane. I mean people like lap times deleted.
Okay. Well, then no. I was trying to find a loop here for you, okay?
No. I know what I meant with that. So it's like, no. And one Ferrari out by Q2. So I get no points. None at all.
Oof.
I'm going to do yours in reverse.
Okay.
Joe, points. No. Mercedes podium.
No.
No. Sargent crash retires in the race.
No.
Lawson ahead of Yuki in the race.
I mean, technically,
Yuki didn't start the race.
But technically, in the race results, he's in front because Tsunoda wasn't in the race.
Thanks to Tsunoda not starting.
Yeah.
Technically, it's a point.
Yeah, I'll take it.
With the chat we had from last time, I didn't write down any more. I just took the first kind of 4. Ferrari podium. Yep. Hamilton podium. No. First time winner. No. Williams in the top 8. Yes. And a mechanical retirement. So I think we had 2.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So, a few points to chat.
I think we should have a think about Singapore, to be honest.
Is the slightly new layout?
It is. But I think we should put the predictions up on Discord at least 2 or 3 days before qualifying or practice.
Yeah, have a proper think about it.
Yeah. Because, quite frankly, all I'm going to say is it might rain, which Singapore, it might do, and people will end up in the barrier. Pick someone.
Yeah.
So, but I am going to stick with Max will not win. I want to break that streak.
Yeah, obviously he's set 10 consecutive wins in a row.
Beating Sebastian Vettel's 9.
Yep.
I genuinely never thought I'd see that broken. And I think the only reason Hamilton hasn't set it, and this is a little bit controversial, is because he's had stronger teammates than Max.
Yeah, well, he did say that recently in an interview. He said that he felt like his teammates have been stronger than Max's teammates.
Yeah. And even Danny was being beaten by Max. Not to mention, I do think there is a cause for saying that Max gets better treatment than a lot of the other drivers.
100%. I think there's no arguing that.
No, I mean, it was seeing today with a different rear wing.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
Well,
6
we
1/4.
will also see Red Bull as the only team to win 100% of the races in the season. I think that would be extremely impressive. Yeah.
It's on. It's on and it's possible.
It definitely is. But yeah, next race obviously the 17th of September, so we won't see you next week. See you the week after.
For the pre-GP
For the pre-GP
and the actual podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look forward to it. I mean, I don't look forward to the pre-GP on that one.
No.
I mean, 2 hours of Singapore, which will inevitably be in the wet, will be my version of hell. I mean, it's just Monaco with slightly bigger straights.
Yeah. Thanks for the resub there, Pedro. Appreciate it. But yeah, slightly new layout to work our heads around. Considering I don't drive that track very often, it's going to be a bit tricky, to say the least. And you know, our pre-GPs, there's probably going to be rain. So,
Yep. Or it'll be the dry one.
yeah.
Really.
Fingers crossed.
Mhm.
But yeah,
We'll figure it out.
couple weeks break. We shall keep
We'll be
you
back.
entertained throughout, hopefully. And yeah, Pedro thinks a new layout might be better. Might be. Hopefully it brings a little bit more to it. But yeah,
We'll see.
other than that, that's it from us. And we shall see you in
We
a
shall
few
be
weeks'
back.
time.
Aye. Is there anyone out there that you would like to read?
Oh, good question. I haven't had a look yet. We have got we've got Chad Royce. He's playing GT7. Got Badger Man who's doing F1 23 manager, F1 manager 23. Other than that,
Shall we go to Badger?
yeah, can do if you want to.
Let's do it. Right. Thank you to all in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, just hey.
Indeedly. All right, I'm going to say
Wait,
thank you
wait,
to
he's
everyone
not
who's been
on.
in the
He's
chat.
not. Oh
It's
no,
been a
he's
pleasure.
on. Couldn't find
You
him.
ready?
But then I found him.
You're good?
Yeah, fighting the raid now.
Sweet. Right. Thank you, Sarah. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And
Likewise.
we'll be back for the podcast in a few weeks' time. Yeah.
That we will, with more thoughts and interesting insights. Who am I kidding? More thoughts at the very least. And we'll be back. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Oh. It's about to be.